Hey everyone, so today we're gonna kind of review this new AI generative tool that I ran onto and got an exclusive beta access. It's mirageml.com. You can check the website and request the beta access by yourself. So what's the idea of this tool is to provide architects and um, or not only architects but even like usually it's like 3D artists that that use like 3D modeling software and renderings and the idea of this tool is to cut the time of rendering instead of using the using the software to render images. Here AI is being used to actually render the architectural render. So what you can, so I imported pyramid that I designed just to test it, and then after I imported the 3D model, and after you set up the view, then through the prompt, I'm telling like what in what style this pyramid should actually appear and it should be rendered. So I was experimenting like quite much with how the prompts work in order to get the result that I want, and there are different styles to choose from in which the render will happen. Like there are more realistic or anime styles or something like this. Anyways, the some of them work better, some of them don't work good, but it may be always a problem in the very prompt, like the way instruction is designed and written. So as it is with every new AI model, there needs to be sort of, you need to kind of play actual with the actual prompts and see how this really works and how the model can read the different inputs and how the small changes in the very prompt, in the input, in the text that you write to the AI generator to understand it. Small changes can bring, different results, and it's all kind of a based at the end on the kind of a science and art of prompt design, of storytelling to the AI. What do you really want to see? So you see here like one same pyramid, but a lot of different outputs. Although I was aiming for some specific architectural results, such as I don't know, villas or some eco vertical farms or houses or whatever. But because of the shape, I guess it kind of takes a lot of reference from different like pyramid photos, so it may be hard for him to understand that this pyramid should be a house. But yeah, again, it's always the play between the prompt and then between the style, and so also the style, you can customly design the style. You can like write by your words what kind of style, what kind of representation of the prompt should be. And yeah, this is like one kind of a case study that I tried to do, like importing an existing model and actually trying to play with different outcomes. Then there are already like preset library where you can input different objects and create a scene, and then eventually use the scene from that you made online to generate renders, and you can export the scene as well and get it as a GBLTF, GLB something, GLB file, GLBF, GLTF, whatever file. And anyways, the thing is that I was playing a lot and figuring out like the level of detail of the objects imported and the relationship between the model, how I actually can read like the basic objects. In the end, I also like designed a small kind of composition of cubes that could like, I don't know, represent a part of the city or downtown or a resort or different kind of things. So just to see how can I actually play um, with the model and turn different things into um, turn one same model into different things. I was also playing with the materials, and again, I wasn't that much successful, but it may be me not being able to communicate my idea well. Pixel art gets really cool stuff out, so actually I kind of like it the most because it's cool to have like 3D images turned into pixel art. I mean 3D models into pixel art. Yeah, here I was just taking these three cubes and trying to turn them into homes or yeah, usually homes, but with different materials. And then I realized maybe it's scale sensitive, as if like it can understand the size of the cube, and based on that connect it with different archetypes. So when I enlarged them, I was more when I made, because these boxes, when they were small, generator was exporting like wooden crates from games, and then like when I made them large, I was able to manipulate them into, you see, different architectural objects, and the quality of the images, when you get it right, like it's actually quite good. So I was importing then, yeah, the wood, yeah, the downtown that I modeled just to test. So what happens is that he actually tries to read the model and write you a prompt what he thinks he sees. So from this angle, I wanted the resort, but then it gave me like the interior view. When I zoomed out, it gave me a resort, but then when I wanted it to transform into public library, it keeps providing me the tables and this interior scene of the library where people can sit or read and something. So I wasn't able to get. So for the resort again, he was getting me out. He was understanding this as a building, but for the library, I was like not able to do it. Then I was playing with styles too. It's just for anyone that's playing with this tool or any other tool, you need to give yourself and the machine time to get to know each other, so you can communicate your ideas, without much, with higher precision. So you can get from the machine what you really want, but in order to do this, you need to describe it the way it's gonna understand. So yeah, and this was also, I was trying to transform some sort of neighborhood and downtown, but I just noticed that there is this problem of scaling, like of the generator understanding the scale of something, and because apparently it kind of mixes the scales of different projects. But then again, it works better when it's like not from the human perspective, from street viewpoint. Also, I noticed that I can, yeah, I can, if I tell him that, yeah, the building from the top, then it kind of gets the thing out. So when I describe him from where I'm seeing things, and then it kind of helps him a lot. And then here I've succeeded making three different buildings from the same image with more or less like quite success. And yeah, this was like and this was level where we played like with the basic just a conceptual 3D model that I was trying to turn into some sort of, I don't know, whatever, like, because it all starts like with cubes, and then just put some cubes and turn them into, if you need some sort of composition or a specific location or specific like a shape that determines your building, if you're like conceptually designing, then you can kind of experiment with different yeah, different ways this cube can come out. And yeah, I was like, of course the product is like in beta version, and we need to be a little bit patient about some stuff. We need to sometimes do some refreshes, and yeah, but usually it all works. Don't forget to save the project, it's very important, otherwise it gets deleted. So yeah, here I modeled a little bit more detailed images. like something that represents building, and see how this is going to be read. And it seems like, like he reads this the shadows, he reads the shapes, which is cool. He transforms anything that you haven't of said. He kind of pulls it in. And at the end, we tried to play with the default template, where I used the default model where there are some details, and turn it into different kind of environments, like in jungle, or some futuristic, or some seashore, or some stone buildings. And yeah, hope you like it. Keep it up.